and welcome to the NewsX Sunday Garden Roundtable. Well, today I have a very special guest and also a very different kind of show. Today we are discussing, we're going to be talking about the rise of the OTT platform. We're also going to be talking about 2 or 3 special projects that are coming up in conversation with Nikhil Advani. He is a filmmaker, screenwriter, director, producer, and Kaveri Bamzai, who is an author, columnist, and her book, The Three Khans, has also been out. So she has an inside track into Bollywood. But Nikhil, you've got 3 projects really coming up this week, in fact, if I'm not wrong. Mumbai Diaries, then you've got the Empire, which is really based on the Mughal dynasty, and of course, something for the big screen also. So why don't you tell us about all of them, your favorite projects, which one is the best? And I think the Empire is hitting the screens first, right?
Well, Bell Bottom has already hit the screens. Hit the screens on on August 19th. And but I mean, honestly speaking, as far as Bell Bottom is concerned, we developed the script. We like the idea that Raghuveer Tiwari, Asim Arora, and Parvez Sheikh came to us, and I have a affinity for anything to do with the raw. So I said, this is something that I want to do. And as Akshay says that जब भी planes आती है तो तू और मुझे film करना चाहिए. हर plane के साथ film करना चाहिए. So so it somewhere fit into what I feel. I mean, what I personally like to watch, which is this kind of espionage, kind of, storytelling, as well as I picked up the phone, asked Akshay, and Akshay fell into place. So I think, as far as me and my production company was concerned, developing the script, having the director who is somebody that has worked with me for the last 10 years, and getting Akshay on board, then it became more about Pooja Films and Vashu Bhagnani and all taking over. So that's where actually honestly speaking, our role as producers or co-producers, as far as Bell Bottom is concerned, is, it would be unfair and remiss of me to take any other this thing away from Vashu and Jackie, who have actually done what they've done during the COVID pandemic and actually taking everybody across, shooting it in Scotland, a film that's based in Dubai. Even I asked this question, matlab Dubai, Scotland, kaise hoga? But they managed to do everything. I guess VFX, and I've learned that with VFX, I can make Mud Island look like Uzbekistan. So,
which you are doing, if I'm not really, you're actually going there.
No, we went to Uzbekistan thrice, and we went twice for a location. We went there for the first time to shoot. Then the pandemic happened, and we all had to come back. But then we were actually waiting for going back, and then in December, the line producer from there sent me, we were set to all load back into planes and go back to shoot. And then the line producer beautifully sent me this lovely photograph of Khiva, which is one of the oldest cities in the world. And it's been maintained just like it was in 1500 and 1600. And it was covered with snow. And he so beautifully sent me, he said, "Sir, snow, sab jagah snow hai." And I said, "Mujhe abhi cancel karna padega, because we need snow, but we need snow at our, when we need it, right? It's not as if that you can go somewhere and shoot with snow. It becomes very chaotic. So we had to cancel. Yeah, then became Mud Island."
Okay, I was in fact getting ahead of myself. First, let's talk about the Empire. In fact, I like to bring Kaveri in also in this conversation, since it's both of us in conversation with you. Kaveri, the Mughal dynasty, in fact, before you joined in, Nikhil, we were just discussing, and Kaveri cracked a very good joke. She's saying, it's interesting to hear about the Mughal dynasty other than Saif Ali Khan's kids. So, Kaveri, your first reactions to what you heard about?
Priya, I don't think anyone is better placed to do something like that other than Nikhil, because as if you look at his filmography, he's done a lot of real life inspired stories, and he was talking about he mentioned aircraft and raw, and there was Airlift, there was Bell Bottom, of course, Batla House, and D-Day, which of course is my personal favorite, and which he directed, which had 2 fantastic actors whom unfortunately we'll never see again, Rishi Kapoor and Irfan Khan. And it was really riveting to watch. So I think in that sense, no one is better placed to do something that is complex, and it may be history, but it is very, very current. And, given the kind of political divisions that you have when you talk about the Mughal Empire, even children are not spared if they're named after Mughal emperors now. So I think it needs someone of Nikhil's sensitivity and Nikhil's ability to go beyond these political and religious and communal divides and tell us stories, just tell us pure stories, which are real and yet entertaining, lightly fictionalized, as these things have to be. I think otherwise, how do you tell a story really well? And I think that is what is so wonderful. And I really do look forward to Empire, which is about Babur, I believe, before he comes to India. And I think that again, and I find the fact that his grandmother has an important role in this again tells us about the women who were lost to history. When you look at the Mughal Empire, you see it as such a male-dominated empire, whereas the women were very, very powerful. Noor Jahan, Jahanara Begum, these are all very powerful women, and they were not just powerful because they were sisters of or consorts or consorts of. They were powerful in their own right. And I think that is what is going to be very interesting to watch in the Empire.
Nikhil, can you tell us a bit more about the Empire? It's based on Alex Rutherford's book, but the first season is about Babur, right?
Yeah. So actually, I mean, of course, the first season. So Priya, the reason it's called the Empire and not the Emperor is because it's not only about Babur.
Yeah.
Right. In the sense that, like Kaveri was saying, what actually jumped to me personally from the pages of the book is that I know all about. I mean, I may know what I've read in history books about the Mughal emperors. I don't know very little about the women who basically were doing everything in the back rooms, right? Whether they use sex, whether they use love, whether they use politics, whether they use the machinations that they use to somewhere or the other drive to get the Mughal emperors to do somewhere or the other what they wanted. The interesting, and for me, therefore, when I was reading the book, Alex Rutherford's book, the first thing was who's going to play Ehsaan Daulat. Like that was the first thing that actually jumped at me. Who's going?
Not Babur.
Because
grandmother.
I actually come from this thing, which is that even when I was watching, when I was casting Kalona and when Karan narrated Kalona to me, my question was who's going to play Saif's role,
Right.
not the question who's going to play Shah Rukh's role, because that role is written. It's all there. Now you have to make the other people, jump at you, because the story which is called Alex Rutherford's Empire of the Mughals, Raiders from the North, is about Babur, right? But the other people were so important. So it was who was going to play that. And for me, Shabana Azmi was the one name that came to me, and I knew her, and I knew Javed sir, and I went and asked her, and she said she didn't even ask. She said, "Don't even finish the sentence. Ehsaan Daulat is the character I've always wanted to play." I had no idea that people knew Ehsaan Daulat. I guess Shabana Azmi knew Ehsaan Daulat, right? So that became interesting. The role of Khanzada became interesting for me. The role of Gulrukh, who is Babur's second wife, became interesting for me. The friend stroke lover of Babur became interesting for me. That's played by Imad, So these characters became, and like Kaveri has said, that I had no clue that, I mean, you grow up and you hear Babur and this and isne ye kiya, wo kiya, all that kind of stuff. He was here for 5 years. He came at 42. He died at 47.
Exactly.
So the story is actually from 14 to 42 with a postscript of 47, right?
Because the making of Babur, really.
Yeah, and actually it's the making of Babur by the people who made him. The first episode is called Kingmaker.
Right.
Okay.
Which actually resonates very highly for you, Priya, and I'm not going into why. So it's the first episode's title is Kingmaker.
And the Kingmaker is actually the grandmother.
Well, yes. So even the promo has ki Takht Ki Taakat is about the person who puts the person on the throne, not the person who's on the throne.
Right.
Right. And I think that became such an interesting way for us to keep writing when we were writing, that actually speaking, the character of Babur is doing what everybody else is making him do.
Yeah.
Everybody else is doing it. You know, so that's very that's very interesting.
And Priya, I just wanted to intervene here. When Nikhil talks about this, there's also this growing trend in literature. You know, when you read the books of Ira Mukhoti, when you read the books of, say, Chitra Banerjee Divakuni, she doesn't write about the Mughals, but she writes about Sita and Draupadi. It's very interesting that the women who were sort of so far invisible are literally being excavated from, the folds of history and being brought to life. So whether it's on the big screen or small screen, or whether it's in the pages of books, a lot of this, what I call feminist forensics, is happening. And I find this so interesting that that at a time when, we are trying to understand female empowerment and feminism in the 21st century, these women are teaching us what handling power was all about so many centuries ago. And I think, Nikhil, if I'm not mistaken, one of the reasons why these women were lost to history, especially about in the Mughal dynasty, was actually because we saw them through the prism of the English. And the English historians and the people of that time, like Thomas Rowe and all, they could not fathom that women could be so powerful by themselves, because they saw them in the harem, they saw them always behind the parda. They did not understand that women could wield influence despite all the limitations of the zenana and all that. And I think
Completely.
That is so amazing about this period.
That also comes out, the Zanana politics, Nikhil?
It is only the Zanana politics. It is only the Zanana politics. Most of the scenes happen inside. I mean, while we were doing the breakdown of the sets and all that, Khanzada's chamber, Gulrukh's chamber, Ehsan Daulat's chamber, Shehbani's harem. So all these are the sets that are there. So if you look at my location breakdown and art breakdown, these are the places where this thing is. Babur does not have a room. If you look at really, it does not say Babur Samarkand room. It does not. It's not there. We didn't build it.
Right.
There was no 8 hours that you will watch. There is not a single scene in Babur's Samarkand room or Fargana room or Kabul room. Everything is happening in either Maham, his wife's room. You know what I'm saying? So that just tells you. Just tells you everything. That's how we have actually. That's how also that became Kaveri became important for me to bring Nitakshara on to direct the show.
Okay.
Right? Then suddenly it was never going to be from my prison. I had to really fight when I started watching the footage and say, I would have made it darker. I would have made it more violent. I would have made it more thing. And Nitakshara said, but we don't use violence.
Right.
Exactly. We don't need to use violence. We don't need to. Yeah, we don't need to use violence. It's just a way, it's just how you say it.
Just the mind.
Kaveri, in the sense that...
That's how women are.
I'm always told by the women who surround me is that if you are right, why are you shouting?
Correct.
So
and Priya, if you know, he is surrounded by women. His production company has women. His home has women. He's always a minority, I think.
That's true. In my introduction, I should have also said co-founder of MA Entertainment. Very important point.
Yeah, man. And now, honestly speaking, everything that we are doing, I keep thinking that, and my daughter's 15 years old, right? So sometimes she'll come and she'll tell me that, Dada, why did you do this? My friends, it's so this thing. And I'm not getting into what, because I've done certain things, which I'm not very interesting about. But now when she sees the Empire, she saw Rocket Boys that day, right? And when the Rocket Boys promo comes out, she was like, wow, this is so good. This is so interesting. I did not know about Homi Bhabha and Vikram Sarabhai. So, I think that's the big shift that we are also trying to do at MA.
In fact, Rocket Boy, let's talk about that. That's also a very interesting project. And as you said, I think, Nikhil, that I know your specialty is actually taking a known story and then finding an untold facet about it, whether it's the women.
Again, Priya, I can't take the credit. This was actually done by Roy Kapoor Films, Siddharth and Jinesh. They already I had no clue that Vikram Sarabhai knew Homi Bhabha. Homi Bhabha knew Vikram Sarabhai. I knew them as two separate things. Being a chemistry graduate myself, of course, we knew we had discussed all these people, but I had no clue who these people are. till then, I suddenly was told that they were actually mentor and guru in some way or whatever. So Rocket Boys, I just want to also use the platform to this platform to is not only about Vikram Sarabhai and Homi Bhabha, it's also about Kalam, right? And it becomes that, right? It becomes that what Homi was to Vikram, Vikram becomes to Kalam. So it that's the journey that it takes over the 16 episodes, and it tells the story of India through the eyes of these Renaissance men, right? And I'm a crazy history buff. The best times I had was sitting with Sudhir Mishra and listening to his grandfather's stories and his uncle's stories and his UP stories and his Madhya Pradesh stories, and like, wow, this is kind of stuff and all that kind of this thing. And my history comes from there also. But yeah, so they had done the hard work. We got in Mallika Sarabhai, and we said we want to do this. Then we figured out there's no next of kin for Mr. Homi Bhabha, but we also found out that there are some cousins, so we had to contact them, and then we wrote the script out, and it's beautifully written by Abhay Pannu, who's also directing it. So yeah, it's something that I think we will all be proud. Everybody will be proud of that one show when it comes out.
When is it coming out before we go in for a break?
It comes out early next year.
The project that is coming up next is the Mumbai Diaries 2611. So, I thought we've seen all the movies on 2611. So can you tell us what this one is about, the series?
So really, Priya Kaveri, so Mumbai Diaries 2611 is my ode to the city of Mumbai and its resilience and its strength of constantly bouncing back, right? Because I have been born here. I hope to die here. I'm a Mumbaiker all the way, and I'm very taken by the fact that this is a city that's constantly on the move. It doesn't allow itself to be beaten down, and that is something that I wanted to tell. And I wanted to tell it from the point of view of doctors and first line responders, right? The BMC workers, the ward boys, the nurses, the drivers of the ambulances, the police, the Havaldars. I wanted to tell it from that point of view.
This is set in the hospital. That's where the first.
It's set, exactly. So it's actually a medical drama. So while
Konkona Sen.
Yes, and it's got Konkona Sen, it's got Mohit Raina, and it's got an immense star cast, Prakash Belavadi. It allowed me the opportunity to work with possibly the best cast and crew that I've ever worked with, to be able to constantly push. Most of the stuff is in one. It's in one location because it's inside the hospital. The hospital comes under siege. So while the Kama and Albrecht Hospital was under siege for 20 minutes, in our show is under siege for 4 hours, right? And so you basically see how and what these doctors and the log line of the show, guys, is sometimes the ones who are meant to heal are the most broken. So while they are dealing with this big catastrophe that is unfolding around them, right? They are also figuring out their own interpersonal relationships and stuff that they all feel that I should have told my wife I love you. I may never tell her I love you again. I left the house today having a fight about something that's so inconsequential. How do I do that? So somewhere like, for instance, Mohit Raina's wife, who's played by Tina Desai, is the F&B manager at the Crystal Room at the Taj.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know that.
Right. And Natasha Bhardwaj, who's an intern. So there are 3 interns. The show is also seen from the 3 interns who start on 2611. Because Mohit Raina is this horror doctor who throws his interns out when they want to, where he wants to run. And they've just joined. They've joined mid-year. They've joined. And out of the 3 of them, one of them who's Natasha Bhardwaj, Dia, her grandfather's wing is named after her grandfather. So she is this princess.
Oh.
Now her mother and father are in the Crystal Room stuck with Mohit's wife.
How do you think this will do, Kaveri? Because there is a huge appetite for what happened in 2611, and this is one facet that hasn't yet been covered.
While Nikhil was talking about it, it also struck me. It could just as well be COVID. COVID was just the same kind of emergency, maybe not
Kaveri, you're taking my season 3 away. Don't take my season 3 idea.
But isn't it fantastic? Because it's so current. It is, of course, set in 2611, but we saw so much of hospitals and doctors under pressure. I think people will relate to it with a whole new perspective,
When did you have this idea, Nikhil? Was it during COVID time?
So that's what I'm saying, Priya. The thing is, no. So that's
it's much earlier.
Yeah. Everybody watches it now. They'll say that, oh wow, okay, उसने exactly जिस तरह से government hospital है वैसे दिखाया है, because we already saw those, those videos being made inside government hospitals.
Right.
But we shot this in 2019, right? We went into COVID in 2020, and when we were just about to release the show, right? And when people see, so the research that has been done by the team, we went into a hospital, which is the #1 government hospital in this country or in the city, right? And a procedure was happening under the bed. Under the bed, the doctor was doing a procedure, right? My brief to my production designer was, when anybody enters the set, it needs to smell of formaldehyde and urine. It has to smell of urine. I want you to get that, because that's what you get. You get the sweet smell of formaldehyde, body odor, and you get urine. That's the level of grittiness, and the doctors, whether Mohit, Konkana, and everybody else that is in the show, were put into a 12-day this thing of learning the basics of trauma surgery, right? So when you do see, and you will see bullets being removed, you will see heart being replaced, you will see and real. It's very, very real, right? So most people will turn around and say कि यार ये तो कोविड के बाद वो लोग ने ऐसा किया है, right? नहीं तो हमेशा वो लोग white room, white. We had already done it. Because I mean, honestly speaking, like Kaveri said, my propensity right now is to make it as real as possible. And unfortunately in MA Entertainment, and somebody narrates a script to me, I say, yeah, it's nice. They say, of course it's not, but it's not D-Day, and it's not got people killing them, and it's not grungy, and obviously you say it's only nice,
Right.
But
it has to
make it as
real. Yeah. But Priya, I think one thing that we should raise with Nikhil is, and I know that this is a little sensitive, that there are things now in history which are being revised and which are being retold, and yet when you see Bell Bottom, or I think when we'll see Rocket Boys, Indira Gandhi is not shown as a weak woman. She's shown as a really strong woman. In fact, there's this nice comment from Ziaul Haq's character. I think he calls her what, Sanki Budiya or something, and he's so disgusted, with the way she thinks. And even with Baba and Sarabhai, Nehru was so important. So I think that is one good thing, that, there are things in our history which need not be thrown out just because we are in the process of excavating some figures who were not necessarily talked about. And this is true of a lot of our freedom fighters. Not everyone got the kind of importance that Nehru or Ambedkar, or, and that's true. Even Sardar Patel perhaps didn't get that kind of importance. But I think it's very interesting that they have not gone the complete other way and completely invisibilized the Gandhis and Nehrus, which is also, I think, very important. You cannot just completely, our history, right? Rewrite our history.
I'm tempted to make this kind of rara nationalism films, Nikhil, that are now the flavor of the scene.
His nationalism is always tempered. Sorry.
Yeah, it's not rara.
I'm glad Kaveri is saying that, because I don't know how to do it, right? I really don't know. I struggled. I struggled for 4 years before I decided to make Batla House, right? And then when I made Batla House, I turned out to the left. The BJP said that, wow, he's one of us.
Yeah.
And then I went and held posters against the anti-CA, and they were confused.
And the left got very angry with you, if I remember.
Yeah. So I'm saying, because honestly speaking, the left that Kaveri is talking about are my friends, and I happen to be a little left of center. I'm not sure whatever. But the point is that I struggle because honestly, normally people would expect me to make the film from the point of view of the boys.
Yeah.
They would expect that from me. But the source material that came to me was from Sanjeev Kumar Yadav. It was from his point of view. And for a long time, I just said, no, I don't think I should make it. I don't think I should make it. Then I said, okay, I think if I just make it about the noise surrounding it, and somewhere or the other, the truth gets lost within all the noise that is making. And if I can tell the story from 3 different points of view, the 2 different points of view, however I can try, I'll try. Whether I managed or not, I think Meghna was more successful doing that in Talwar than I was in Batla House. But the point is that I struggled with it. right? So my nationalism will never be rara. It will never be this thing, right? Even in D-Day, you have the guy in Raw trying to basically say the Sandeep Kulkarni character saying, give up the 4 guys who are there. It's not our problem.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm trying to show that that both sides are playing politics, you know, constantly, which is the truth. I think those are the kind of CIA, KGB, espionage films that I like watching.
Yeah.
You know? Tinker Tailor Soldier Sailor.
All the John Le Carres, no?
Yeah.
Okay, we're talking out of time, but one quick question to each of you is first, Kaveri, the OTT platform versus theatre. Do you advise Nikhil to focus more on OTTs or theatre? Do you think there is still some hope for the big screen?
Oh no, he should just make what he wants to make, and I think it will all find its space, and it has found its space. I went and watched Bell Bottom in a theatre after 18 months, and I enjoyed it thoroughly, you know. And I will certainly be watching Empire on my computer screen. So everything has its own place. It's just a fantastic stories that he is telling, and I hope continues to tell. They will find their spaess.
Focus on the content and not the medium, Nikhil.
Exactly. I think so.
Yeah, so Priya, it is only the content decides the format. I think that what has been happening over the last 2 years, we as producers have been forced to let our content basically find homes, right? But somewhere the content decides the format. And I discovered this during the pandemic when we were actually doing the most work with our development teams in the writing rooms. The what we are telling in the Empire is 8 hours. It's very different from the Bell Bottom, which is 2 hours, right? Every 8 hour has a long arc, has a short arc, has a character arc. The thing is which I make a fun of is Bollywood directors are used to writing screenplays. We don't write stories. Our stories are usually at Olive, where we are telling the actor, ऐसा picture बनाते हैं, ऐसा करेंगे, रसूल को की तरह आप acting करोगे, वैसे ये होगा, वैसे होगा, story हो गया. And we get into screenplay. What the OTT platform and the writing room is forcing you to do is tell me the story first. Story, episodic beat, story beat, longer arc, shorter arc, character arc.
Yeah.
On that note, thank you so much. You've heard it from the man of the hour himself, and all the behind the scenes drama, which I really find more interesting than also what is happening on screen. But thank you, Nikhil and Kaveri, for joining me for this conversation. And well, see you again next week. Thank you for watching this show.
Thank you.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.